There is a basic rule of survival. If you see something that shouldn't exist, run immediately. But some made the terrible mistake of staying to the cord, from creepy anomalies invading the darkness of our homes, to brutal predators ambushing head-on. These are the terrifying moments when creatures got too close to humans, and it definitely didn't end well. The fake turtle. Armed with a spear, a diver exploring a reef approached what appeared to be a turtle resting under a coral overhang, revealing a terrifying biological nightmare upon closing the distance. The creature keeps its jaws open, exposing rows of needle-sharp teeth, before violently lunging at the lens, leaving only a chaotic cloud of sand and an abrupt cut in the recording. The Mermaid Attack. Standing and navigating the calm, misty waters of an isolated lake, this fisherman was suddenly ambushed by a strange creature that leapt out of the water, directly toward his small boat. What appears to be a terrifying entity, half human and half fish, lunges at the man amidst the thick fog, sparking a desperate and chaotic struggle that ends with an abrupt cut. The river drag. Fishing in total darkness at the water's edge, this man's night turned into a deadly trap when a pale, twisted figure emerged from the depths to drag him toward the abyss. After a desperate hand-to-hand struggle on the ground, the fisherman manages to use a light to scare the creature away, paralyzed with fear as he watches the humanoid monster slowly crawl back into the blackness of the river. The Cliffside Executioner. Two explorers trekking through a mountainous area witnessed a nightmare scene when they stumbled upon a colossal hairy creature, resembling the legendary Bigfoot, holding a person over the edge of a cliff.
Oh my God, no, Jesus. Oh my God, he's not moving.
After seconds of unbearable tension under the stunned gaze of the witnesses, the beast coldly hurls its victim into the abyss, demonstrating inhuman strength and a total lack of mercy.
Oh my God, no, Jesus. Oh my God, he's not moving.
The Chernobyl Spider. Descending into the dark tunnels of Chernobyl is a fatal mistake, especially when you are ambushed by a radioactive monster that looks like a freakish mix of human and arachnid.
Huh? What the hell was that? Well, get the hell out of it!
Moving on all fours with biologically impossible agility, the beast ambushes the cameraman in total darkness, leaving only its ghastly shadow projected on the wall as proof. The shadow on the stairs. A security camera captured the terrifying moment when two young men descending the dark stairs of a building were brutally ambushed by an aggressive black entity waiting in a crouch further down.
Extraña sombra ataca a dos personas.
The creepy shadow lunges at them with such violence that it knocks one down on the steps, triggering a chaotic and desperate escape back to the upper floors. The faceless intruder. While lighting up the dark garden of his house after hearing strange noises, this young man's camera caught a pale and terrifying humanoid figure lurking in the brush. Without warning, the aberrant entity lunges violently toward the light, crawling on all fours with unnatural speed, forcing the boy to cut the recording in the midst of panic. The Russian Nightmare. Recorded from inside a moving car in Russia, the passengers experienced moments of absolute panic when a creepy silhouette emerged from the fields, running at an unnatural speed to hunt them down. Terror breaks out when the grotesque creature, in full pursuit, suddenly drops to all fours like a wild animal to gain speed before standing back up, unnaturally to catch them. The asphalt jump. This car's camera captured a true nightmare when a driver, traveling down a fog-shrouded road, slowed down to observe a pale, skeletal creature walking along the edge of the asphalt. Fatal mistake. Within seconds, the long-limbed beast strikes with a frontal leap directly at the windshield.
What was that?
Letting out a deafening shriek, making it clear why you should never stop in the middle of nowhere.
What was that?
The Roadway giant. Driving in the early morning hours on a dark Mexican highway, this motorist's journey turned terrifying when he shone a flashlight into the brush at the side of the road. Among the bushes, he discovers a grotesque humanoid figure of colossal size that, far from hiding, begins to run, keeping pace with him, forcing the driver to floor the gas to flee the macabre pursuit. The impossible runner. Recorded from the back window of a car at high speed, the passengers went into absolute panic upon realizing that a pale figure with glowing eyes was chasing them in the middle of the night. Most disturbing is seeing how the aberrant entity runs on all fours with biologically impossible agility, staying dangerously close to the vehicle despite the driver's desperate attempts to speed up and escape. The ocean hybrids. In a tense sunset on the open sea, a group of fishermen recorded the bone-chilling moment when their fast-moving vessel began to be pursued by a pack of monstrous hybrids.
They're still back there! Go! Go! Holy hell, look at them! Give her more!
Half human and half fish, with terrifying open maws and sharp teeth. The pale creatures leap through the waves at superhuman speed to reach the boat, sparking screams of panic from the crew, who desperately beg to speed up.
They're still back there! Go! Go! Holy hell, look at them! Give her more throttle! They're coming up! Watch the side, watch the side! Jesus, did you see the teeth? Hold on, there! There! Keep them back! They're dropping back! Don't let up till they're gone! Oh my God!
The night pursuit. Navigating at full speed through a river in total darkness, these fishermen recorded the chilling moment when a black humanoid figure with bright reflective eyes began to hunt them in the wake of their boat. Terror grips the crew as they beg for more speed through prayers and desperate screams, while the relentless supernatural entity swims effortlessly inches from the propeller, threatening to reach them at any second. The Forest Hunter. While recording his trek through an isolated forest trail, this young man looked over his shoulder only to discover that an imposing and dark humanoid figure had emerged from the brush to hunt him down. Panic is instantaneous. The camera shakes violently as the boy flees, letting out screams of terror, but the creepy entity seems to glide along the narrow path, relentlessly closing the distance. The thermal prey. Night vision cameras from a drone flying over a dark, dense forest captured a chilling hunt, a person fleeing in terror down a completely isolated path. Most disturbing is the monstrous and giant glowing figure right on their heels, closing the distance with colossal strides until suddenly, the exhausted victim stops moving to meet their macabre fate. The face at the window.
Let me in. Oh, please help me.
Parked alone on a dark street in Japan, a driver recorded the disturbing moment when he heard a hollow voice emerge from the blackness of his window, forcing him to turn his camera toward the glass.
Please help me in. Oh,
Pressed against the pane, a pale apparition appears with the look of a lifeless mask and completely black eyes, opening and closing its mouth slightly while desperately repeating, "Please help me," freezing the blood of the witness who cannot stop recording.
please help me in. Oh, please help me.
The headless spectre. A chilling night trip down a lonely road turned into a scene of terror when the vehicle's headlights illuminated a ghastly figure walking directly toward them. The horror is absolute upon noticing it is a headless spectre advancing without flinching, forcing the driver to swerve past this monstrous apparition at the last second to avoid a potentially fatal impact. The Forest Witch.
Alright, going randonauting, and it took us to this shady park in the middle of nowhere, so let's see what we found.
Stepping out on foot onto a quiet forest trail in broad daylight, a young woman crossed a wooden bridge only to come face to face with a terrifying static figure blocking her path.
What the fuck? Oh, what the fuck?
Dressed in a dismal black robe and with its face hidden, the creepy entity remains completely motionless, generating a fear so deep it forces the girl to turn around and flee in terror.
We have to go over this bridge, and our location's a little down there. What the fuck? Oh, what the fuck? Should we keep going? What the fuck? Oh my god, is she following us?
The Crimson Eyes. What should have been a simple walk down the stairs of his own home turned into pure terror for this man, upon discovering two bright crimson eyes lurking in the deep darkness of the lower floor. Without making a single sound or movement, the demonic entity remains static in the shadows, causing such deep paralysis in the owner that he only manages to turn his face toward the camera, realizing with horror that his home has been invaded. The Hairy Walker. Driving in total darkness along a winding road surrounded by dense forest, this vehicle's camera captured the chilling moment when a massive hair-covered bipedal figure emerged from nowhere. Moving with astonishing speed for its size, the colossal beast crosses the asphalt, lit for only a second by the headlights, before vanishing into the depth of the trees before the driver can process the nightmare he just saw. Trail tracker. While recording a cyclist traveling along a lonely dirt road, the peaceful ride turned into pure panic when a dark skeletal figure crossed on all fours right in front of his wheel. With a bone-chilling humanoid shape, but moving with the agility of a wild animal, the aberrant creature causes such terror in the athlete that he loses control completely, crashing violently into the bushes in a cloud of dust. The abyssal arachnid. Operators of a remote underwater camera recorded a true nightmare when they illuminated the seabed and discovered a giant, pale spider crawling along. With With massive black eyes and multiple thin limbs, the grotesque creature tries to flee from the light, leaving us wondering if it is an unregistered abyssal species or a Lovecraftian cryptid. The Backyard Visitor. Past midnight, loud barking alerted this owner that something was very wrong. Upon stepping outside, he discovered a small black figure on the other side of the yard. Instead of being frightened by the barking, the strange presence begins to walk disturbingly straight toward them, cutting the recording just as a confrontation is imminent. The shadow of the home. While alone in her living room at night, a girl turned on her phone upon realizing that a dark figure was watching her directly from the threshold of another room. The silhouette remains static, completely ignoring that it is being recorded, instilling a level of brutal psychological terror by silently invading her only safe place. The Daylight Observer.
Can you see him?
All right, it's time to go south. Let's go.
In broad daylight, a peaceful family trek in the woods came to a standstill when the children pointed in terror at a massive humanoid shadow deep among the trees. Seeing that the dark and massive entity is staring at them without bothering to hide, the father orders an immediate retreat, disturbingly proving that you don't always need darkness to find a monster.
My friend's over there. Look. Can you see him?
All right, it's time to go south. Let's go.